Ladies, listen carefully, because life and love are not games of chance. They are arenas where your strength, your grace, and your wisdom will be tested. In the world of dating, you are not here to chase, you are here to choose. You are not here to compromise your worth, you are here to share your light. Do not let the noise of the world define your standards. You set them, you own them, you protect them. A relationship is not a rescue mission. You're not looking for someone to complete you, you are already complete. What you seek is a partner who respects, supports, and honors that completeness. And when you walk into a relationship, bring your full self, your ambition, your faith, your values, your vision, because any man who is worthy of your love will recognize that as your beauty. You don't beg for attention, you command respect. You don't lose yourself to keep someone else. You stay grounded in your truth. Love is beautiful, but it should never cost you your peace, your purpose, or your identity. Know your worth before you search for love. Before you even think about stepping into the world of dating, you have to sit down with yourself and have an honest conversation. You need to ask yourself, do I know my worth? Not the worth that someone else told you. Not what your past relationships tried to define for you. Your true worth, the value that's already inside you, unshaken, unmoved, and unchangeable by anyone's opinion. Because if you don't know your worth, the world will try to sell you something far cheaper than what you're truly made of. They'll try to convince you that you're asking for too much, that your standards are too high, that you should just be grateful for whoever shows up, and that is a dangerous place to be. When you don't recognize your value, you start negotiating with your own soul. You start accepting less, thinking it's better than nothing. But let me tell you something, nothing is better than a love that costs you your peace. Nothing is better than a relationship that demands you shrink yourself just to make someone else comfortable. When you know your worth, you walk differently, you speak differently. You carry yourself with a quiet confidence that doesn't need to be loud but cannot be ignored. You don't tolerate disrespect. You don't entertain games. You don't lower your standards just to have someone sitting next to you at dinner, because you understand that your time, your energy, and your heart are precious. They are not available to everyone. They must be earned by someone who sees you for who you are and treats you accordingly. Too many women go into relationships hoping that love will validate them, that a partner will make them feel beautiful, wanted, and whole. But you must walk into love already knowing these things, already rooted in them, because when you know who you are not easily swayed by sweet words or temporary gestures. You don't fall for potential, you wait for consistency. You don't confuse chemistry with character. You recognize that attraction might spark interest, but integrity keeps it alive. Knowing your worth also means being patient. It means understanding that waiting for the right person is better than settling for the wrong one. The world may tell you that your clock is ticking, that you're being too picky, that you should give people a chance even when you know deep down they're not aligned with your values, but your worth says otherwise. Your worth reminds you that you are not on anyone's timetable but your own, that you are not desperate, you are discerning. And sometimes knowing your worth means walking away, even when it hurts. Even when you've invested time, emotions, and dreams into someone, you walk away because you refuse to sacrifice your self-respect for the illusion of companionship. You walk away because you understand that love is not supposed to hurt you, confuse you, or break you down. It's supposed to uplift you, bring you peace, and help you grow. At the core of all this is self-love, because when you truly love yourself, you attract people who reflect that same love back to you. People who recognize your light and are not threatened by it, but inspired by it. People who don't want to dim your shine, but to stand next to you and shine together. So before you go searching for love, take the time to search within. Heal the wounds that made you question your value. Build the confidence that can't be shaken by rejection or loneliness. Develop the standards that honor your heart. And most importantly, believe without a doubt that you are already enough. Because when you walk into the dating world knowing your worth, you won't need to convince anyone else of it. They'll see it, they'll feel it, and only the right one will rise to meet it. Set standards, not ultimatums. In love, you don't beg, you don't force, and you certainly don't threaten. You set standards. Standards are not ultimatums. Standards are not desperate attempts to control someone's behavior. Standards are the non-negotiable values you live by, the principles that guide your decisions, and the boundaries that protect your peace. They are a reflection of how you value yourself, not a tool to manipulate someone else. When you set standards, you're simply stating, this is what I require in order to build a healthy, respectful, and meaningful relationship. You're not asking for perfection, but you are asking for alignment, and that's your right. Standards are rooted in self-respect. They are not walls to keep love out, but filters that keep the wrong kind of love from getting in. Ultimatums, on the other hand, often come from fear. Fear of losing someone, fear of being alone, fear that if you don't force change, you won't get what you need. But forcing someone into change never leads to lasting happiness. It breeds resentment, not growth. Real lasting love cannot be sustained by pressure. It grows in freedom, in choice, and in mutual respect. When you set standards, you're not demanding someone change who they are. You're inviting the right person to meet you at the level you're already living at. And if they can't meet you there, that's not your failure, that's clarity. That's the truth revealing itself. You are not responsible for someone else's readiness or capacity to meet your standards. You are only responsible for honoring yourself enough not to lower them. Standards sound like this: I deserve to be treated with kindness and respect. I require honesty, loyalty, and emotional maturity. I will not tolerate dishonesty, disrespect, or emotional games. I value open communication, and I expect my partner to do the same. These are not ultimatums because they're not threats. You're not saying if you don't do this, I'll punish you. You're simply saying this is what I need to feel safe, secure, and loved. If you cannot provide that, then you're not the right person for me, and you say it with peace, not panic. The beauty of standards is that they empower you to walk away from what isn't right without anger or bitterness. You're not attached to forcing anyone to stay. You trust that the right person will never make you beg for the bare minimum. They will rise naturally to meet your standards because they see your worth, and they value the same things you do. Too many people are afraid to set standards because they think it will drive people away, and it might, but let them go. Anyone who leaves because your standards are too high was never meant to stay. The wrong person will always feel restricted by your standards. The right person will feel inspired by them. They won't see your standards as obstacles. They'll see them as opportunities to love you better. There is great strength in knowing you don't have to force love to work. You don't need to demand loyalty. You don't need to beg for respect. The person who is meant for you will come prepared to offer these things freely, because that's who they are, not because you threaten to leave. Real love flows from choice, not coercion. And remember, standards aren't about perfection. They're about alignment. You're not looking for someone flawless. You're looking for someone who shares your values, who communicates with honesty, who treats you with kindness, and who shows up consistently. These are the foundations of real partnership. Without them, love becomes unstable. With them, love becomes unshakable. So hold your head high, set your standards without fear or apology, and trust that the right person will recognize your light, respect your boundaries, and walk beside you not because they have to, but because they want to. Let actions speak louder than words. Words are easy. Anybody can say the right thing. Anybody can speak sweet promises into your ear, tell you what you want to hear, paint beautiful pictures of the future, and whisper every word you've ever dreamed of. But words without action are empty. Words without action are illusions. In love, you cannot afford to be guided by words alone. You must watch for action because that's where the truth lives. People can tell you they love you, that they care, that they want to build a future with you, but real love is proven in how they show up, not just in what they say. It's easy to say, I'll always be there for you. It's another thing entirely to show up when you need them most. When things get tough, when life gets messy, that's where you see who someone really is. Consistency is one of the clearest signs of genuine love. Not grand gestures done once, not promises made in the heat of emotion, but small daily acts of care, respect, and support. Do they listen to you? Do they consider your feelings? Do they show up for you not just when it's convenient, but when it's hard? Do they keep their word? Because anyone can talk, but not everyone will follow through. You see, love is not about how someone makes you feel for a moment. It's about how they treat you over time. It's easy to get swept away by passion and chemistry. Those feelings are real, but they are not enough to sustain a relationship. A strong relationship requires responsibility, maturity, and effort, qualities that are revealed through action. Someone can say they respect you, but if they constantly dismiss your concerns, that respect is not real. Someone can say they're committed, but if they keep entertaining other people or breaking promises, their commitment is only in words. Someone can say they support your dreams, but if they discourage you every time you try to grow, their support is hollow. It is their actions that tell the real story. When you let actions speak louder than words, you protect yourself from illusions. You give yourself the space to truly observe a person's character. Because at the end of the day, you are not falling in love with someone's potential. You are building a life with someone's reality, and reality is always revealed in action. That's why patience is so important. Take your time. Let people reveal who they are. Don't rush to believe everything you hear. Watch how they treat you when you're vulnerable, how they handle conflict, how they behave when things don't go their way. Do they respect your boundaries? Do they make you feel safe? Are they willing to grow alongside you? All of this is shown through behavior, not speeches. When you let actions lead, you build relationships on truth, not fantasy. You give yourself the chance to receive real love, not performative love. Real love doesn't need to be constantly advertised. It's felt in consistent care, mutual respect, honest communication, and shared effort. And you must hold yourself to the same standard. Your own actions should reflect the kind of love you want to receive. Show up with integrity. Speak honestly. Follow through on your promises. In doing so, you not only attract the right kind of partner, but also create a relationship rooted in mutual trust. So listen to words, but watch actions. Words are easy, actions take work. Anyone who truly values you will show it in how they treat you every single day. You won't have to guess, you won't have to wonder, and you won't have to chase. Their actions will make it clear that is real love, that is real commitment, and that is the kind of relationship you deserve. Protect your peace. Peace is not a luxury in a relationship, it is a requirement. Your peace is sacred. It is the calm in your soul, the clarity in your mind, and the quiet strength that keeps you grounded. In love, if you are constantly sacrificing your peace, then you are not in love, you are in survival, and that is not where you belong. Too many people mistake chaos for passion. They confuse emotional roller coasters with intensity, thinking that love has to be full of drama to be real. But true love is not loud arguments followed by desperate makeups. It is not sleepless nights filled with doubt, anxiety, and fear. Real love feels safe. It brings you stability. It helps you breathe easier, not keep you up at night wondering where you stand. Protecting your peace means choosing relationships that add to your life, not drain you. It means being with someone who brings clarity, not confusion. Someone whose words match their actions, whose intentions are clear, and whose love feels secure. When you protect your peace, you are protecting your mental health, your emotional stability, and your future. If you are constantly second-guessing yourself, walking on eggshells, or feeling like you have to shrink who you are to keep someone around, you are paying for that relationship with your peace, and that price is far too high. You should never have to lose yourself to keep someone else. The right person will never require you to sacrifice your inner calm for their comfort. Peace is not the absence of problems. Every relationship will face challenges, but even in hard times, the right relationship will bring you a sense of partnership, not panic. You will feel like you are working through issues together, not fighting a battle alone. There will be honesty, not manipulation, communication, not silent treatments, growth, not emotional games. Protecting your peace also means setting boundaries and being willing to enforce them. It means being clear about what you will and will not tolerate. It means walking away from situations that threaten your well-being, no matter how strong your feelings may be. Because love should never cost you your sanity. You cannot build a healthy relationship on instability. You cannot grow when your mind is constantly filled with stress, doubt, and emotional exhaustion. A peaceful love allows you to focus on your goals, to nurture your dreams, and to become the best version of yourself. The right partner will support that growth, not hinder it. They will respect your need for space, your need for balance, and your need for emotional safety. Many people stay in toxic situations because they fear being alone, but being alone with your peace is far better than being together in chaos. Loneliness is temporary, but losing your peace can take years to recover from. The person who truly loves you will never put you in a position where you have to choose between loving them and protecting your own well-being. Peace is the foundation of lasting love. Without it, even the strongest attraction will crumble. Without it, even the sweetest words will eventually sound hollow. But with peace, love becomes a place of rest, a place where you can let your guard down knowing you are safe, valued, and respected. So protect your peace fiercely. Do not trade it for temporary companionship. Do not compromise it for empty promises. Do not sacrifice it to hold on to someone who cannot give you the love you deserve. Your peace is your power, and the right person will never be a threat to it. They will be a guardian of it. Don't settle for potential. One of the biggest traps in love is falling for someone's potential. It's easy to see what someone could become, to believe in the version of them you hope will show up one day. You meet someone, and maybe they have big dreams, good intentions, a lot of charm. You see glimpses of who they could be if only they made better choices, if only they put in the work, if only they grew into the person you imagine. And so you wait, you hope, you invest your time, your energy, your love, not for who they are, but for who they might become. But let me tell you something, you cannot build a future on maybes. Potential is not a guarantee. Potential does not pay the price of effort, discipline, and consistency. Potential is a possibility, not a promise. And when you choose to build a relationship on what you hope someone will turn into, you set yourself up for disappointment and pain, because love requires reality, not fantasy. You need to see who someone is today, how they treat you now, how they handle challenges now, how they take responsibility now. That's the person you're choosing, not the version that may or may not appear in the future. You cannot force someone to grow. Growth is a personal choice. No matter how much you believe in them, no matter how much you want to help them, a person must want to do the work for themselves. Love cannot motivate someone who isn't ready. You can encourage, you can support, but you cannot carry someone to their own destiny. That journey is theirs alone. Many people waste years waiting for a partner to finally live up to their potential. They hold on, thinking if I just stay a little longer, they'll change. They give chance after chance, overlooking repeated patterns of disrespect, broken promises, and emotional instability. And while they're waiting, they sacrifice their own happiness, their own growth, and often their own peace of mind. That's not love. That's a one-sided investment with no return. When you settle for potential, you ignore red flags. You excuse bad behavior because you believe things will eventually get better, but patterns speak louder than promises. Pay attention to how someone consistently shows up in your life. Are they honest? Are they kind? Are they responsible? Do they follow through? These are not small things. These are the foundations of a healthy relationship. Without them, no amount of potential can make the relationship work. You deserve a partner who is already standing where you need them to be. Not perfect, but mature. Not flawless, but self-aware. Not without mistakes, but accountable. Someone who takes ownership of their growth, who is actively working on becoming their best self. Not someone who keeps saying, one day. Understand this. Your role is not to be someone's savior, mother, or teacher. Your role is to be a partner, to walk beside someone who is equally committed to building a future together. When both people come to the table as whole, growing individuals, real love can flourish. But when one person is constantly dragging the other toward their potential, love turns into a burden. You are not responsible for anyone else's growth. You are responsible for your own well-being. Waiting for potential to turn into reality often leaves you empty, frustrated, and exhausted. Time is precious. Don't spend it trying to turn someone into who they should already be. The right person will not be perfect, but they will be ready. They will show you through their actions, not just their words, that they are serious about love, life, and growth. You won't have to wonder if they'll ever get it together. You'll see it in how they live. So choose reality over fantasy. Choose character over potential. Choose peace over hope. Because real love isn't about what someone could be. It's about who they are right now. Keep God, purpose, and self-respect at the center. There's a lot that can pull you off course in love. Emotions, loneliness, pressure, and even your own desire to be loved can cloud your judgment. But if you want a relationship that stands strong, that brings you peace, and that honors who you are, you must build it with the right foundation. And that foundation starts with God, your purpose, and your self-respect. When you keep God at the center of your relationship, you invite wisdom into your decisions. You are guided not just by feelings, but by faith. You are able to discern what is real from what is temporary. God's presence keeps you grounded when your emotions want to lead you astray. He gives you clarity when confusion tries to blur your vision. He reminds you that you are loved, valued, and created for more than settling for less than you deserve. A relationship without God easily becomes driven by selfish desires. People start trying to fill their own emptiness with someone else's presence, expecting another person to heal wounds only God can heal. But when both individuals have a personal relationship with God, they come together whole, secure, and already filled with love. They don't depend on each other for identity or worth. They already know who they are. Their love is not based on possession, but on partnership. Then comes your purpose. Before you invite someone into your life, you must first know where you're going. Your purpose is your calling, your passion, your reason for being. It is what fuels you and gives your life meaning beyond any relationship. When you're clear on your purpose, you won't allow anyone to distract you from your path. You won't sacrifice your dreams or your calling to keep a relationship that isn't aligned with where you're headed. Purpose gives you direction. It reminds you that love should complement your journey, not compete with it. The right person will not ask you to shrink your dreams. They won't feel threatened by your ambition or your calling. Instead, they'll support it, encourage it, and even walk alongside you as you both pursue the purpose God placed inside of you. And finally, self-respect. Without it, even the strongest faith and clearest purpose can be weakened. Self-respect is what allows you to enforce boundaries. It's what helps you say no to disrespect, dishonesty, and emotional games. It keeps you from tolerating behavior that dishonors your value. Self-respect tells the world, I know who I am, I know what I deserve, and I refuse to settle for anything less. When you walk into love with self-respect, you don't have to chase anyone. You don't have to prove your worth to anyone. You don't have to beg for attention or love. You carry yourself with dignity, knowing that the right person will recognize your value without you having to convince them. Self-respect protects you from staying in situations that damage your peace. It gives you the strength to walk away when necessary, not out of bitterness, but out of wisdom. When God, purpose, and self-respect are at the center, your love becomes unshakable. It's not perfect, but it's strong. It's not without challenges, but it's built on truth. You and your partner become two whole individuals, rooted in faith, driven by purpose, and holding each other to the highest standard of love and respect. That kind of love doesn't fall apart when life gets hard. It grows stronger. So don't compromise. Don't lose yourself for the sake of love. Keep God first. Stay faithful to your purpose. Honor your self-respect. And trust that the right person will meet you there, not to complete you, but to partner with you in a love that's built to last.